All right. Hello. I know this thing works. It's extremely loud. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the Town of Angier Board of Commissioners meeting, August 6th, 6:30. Hereby call it to order. We're supposed to have the Rotary join us tonight. It looks like they're a little bit late, so I will lead you in the pledge if you'll join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Kazakavich will lead us tonight in invocation.
Lord, we ask you to be with us tonight. We ask you to be with us this week while we endure this weather that we have coming in. We also would like your blessing on the town business that we proceed with tonight. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. All right, let's start with the agenda. We have the agenda before us. Are there any amendments to the agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion we approve the agenda.
All those in favor, raise your right hand.
We may need to just clarify the additional reasons we're going into closed session.
Okay, so we do that now. I make a motion we amend the agenda to include 2 additional reasons for going into closed session this evening. One of them being 143-318-11, A4 for personnel, and A6 for potential economic development opportunities.
All right, all those in favor of the amended agenda, please raise your right hand. I think we're good, right? All right. It is the first meeting of the month, which means it is public comment night. Anyone may speak on any issue. We do have public hearings tonight, so if you're here for a public hearing, this is not the time for that one. You'll have an opportunity a little bit later. You're welcome to come up here and speak to us about anything you like. We ask that you keep it under 3 minutes so everyone has a chance and we can continue on with town business. I would not expect the board to take any action at the time of your speaking, but we're always listening. First, we've got Mike Hill. If you could join us up.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I'm up here with concerns about the upcoming storm that we want to have come in with the immense amount of rainfall, I think. 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago, we had a lot of inches fell within a matter of a short period of time. The area at 295 West William Street, or better known as Clippick Springs Road, had immense flooding. Of course, I got out and checked out things, and it was about 10 feet away from the foundation of my home or my house. So after the rainfall, I went out and started investigating, see just how bad other areas were, and it was pretty bad. So my first route was to come and talk with the town manager and express my concerns to her. She explained to me that there was a study, and she offered me the study, and I said, well, to be truthful with you, I don't have much belief in the studies, because I think since you and I initially started, we probably had that study done 3 or 4 times, and there's nothing been done. So do I have faith in it? No. I decided to go out and walk the area, and what I found was disturbing. I don't think you needed a study. I think all you got to do is go out there and find somebody that can clean some ditches out, clean samplings out of the ditches that's going to wind up being big trees. Some of them already big trees, and it's going to cost more, every day we wait. I went to some of the drainage culverts, the grates on top. They were covered in debris. This was 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago. We had 2 more downfalls, not as heavy. And the issue that I went to the town manager about right there at the house was a drainage culvert under a driveway, and on the other side of it was no water running. On my side, road covered up in my yard, and it was all the way up in my yard. So, as far as I know, to this day, nothing's been done to that ditch. So today, having concerns about this here new storm, I went out and started checking culverts and the grades on top of them. To my surprise, again, at Northern Street, where we had a major part of our flooding, I couldn't find the grate because of debris on top of it, and it had already packed down. I had to get a rake, dug down about an inch to get the debris off top of the grate. Now, and we got a rainfall coming in. I went all the way down Calypso Springs Road back toward this way, and every ditch tile that I went to was just about cut. Some of the ditch tiles I couldn't find.
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up.
I think something needs to be done immediately about trying to clean some of these ditches out on Calypso Springs Road. And it'll solve some of the problems.
You did the
over
right
there.
thing to bring it to our attention up here. And we could certainly look into that a little further than you've gotten with it, hopefully. Thank you very much, Mr. Hill.
I just want to make mention. So Mr. Hill did call me today because he lives in my ward, and he always knows that I'm willing to listen whenever he's got something going on. So I did express to him that the study that he had been presented, we are making some movement on. The mitigation measure 1 is being started over here in the curve of Broad Street, and it will come all the way across to the area in question. It's a domino effect, how water runs, and it while it's not a quick solution, it is a solution nonetheless. So I know that was not exactly what he wanted to hear, but it's something that's going on. So I always appreciate when you call me when something's going on, okay?
Thank you. Next, we have Sue Burkhart. Sue, if you don't mind, when you come up here, give us your address for the record. Yeah, go ahead. Make sure you give us your address because we have to put it all in the minutes.
I will definitely do that. So good evening. I'm going to introduce myself and my granddaughter. My name is Sue Burkhart. I live at 2128 Rawls Church Road here in Andrew, obviously. And I'm sure you've all passed my house because you'll see the big fentanyl banners and the purple chair outside. This is my granddaughter, Nico. This is Nico, so sorry, you got my back. This is Nico. She passed away February 25th, 2022 from fentanyl poisoning. Nico is forever 21 and leaves behind a son. Since Nico's death, I now sit on the Harnett County Drug Task Force for Opioid Awareness. I'm under the Education and Awareness part division of it. I sit on a nonprofit, Joshua's Army Fights Fentanyl, and our team, Joshua's Army, provides Narcan for all training. We also train at Mama Moses in the Underground Railroad. All her volunteers get trained by us for Narcan use. This is Teresa Matheson. She's the founder and president of Joshua's Army Fights Fentanyl, and another mother who lost her child to fentanyl poisoning. And Teresa also sits on the Harnett County Task Force with me. Yes, I do. Teresa and I walked around town about 3 weeks ago, talking to store owners and managers, and handing out Narcan for free. We donated a case of Narcan to the Andrew Police Department. We donated some to the Harnett County EMS over here, and we would like to partner with you guys. We want to be able to spread awareness to help fight this crisis. We're going to spread the awareness. We gave out 53 kits the day that we walked the streets. So that's pretty good if you ask me. We have approximately 138,000 people in Harnett County. Since January 2013 up to May of 2023, North Carolina has seen over 17,000 deaths of fentanyl. Harnett County has seen 377 deaths of all medical and drug-related fatalities, which 245 were fentanyl. Our DA has completed 22 deaths by distribution, which we know there's 5 pending. She does our county and Lee County. So actually, she did 26 because she completed 4 in Lee.
Correct.
We are down 1 medical examiner. We need 7. We are here to help so no other parent, sibling, grandparent, as I am, aunt, uncle, cousins, brothers, sisters, anybody has to live through this. This is the worst pain any person will ever feel in your life. So we're here. We want you to tell us where you need us to go. We want to know the spot. And we'll be there. We do pop-ups. We put our tent up. We give out Narcan.
Yeah. So Teresa, you're next on the list here, right? So
Thank you.
you're more than welcome. If you don't mind, give us your address for the minutes.
No,
But
I'd be happy to. So I don't live in Angier.
That's
I
all right.
actually live on the other end of the county. My address is 1345 Murchison Town Road. It's a Sanford address, but I'm actually in Olivia. As Susan told you, I lost my son 2 weeks to the day after his birthday. Friday would be his birthday. My son died from half a pill with fentanyl that he thought was a prescription Percocet. Our DA and our Sheriff's Department worked very hard on my son's case, and for a year and a few weeks, we've had someone sitting in jail, and we're working on that process. So as Sue told you, one of the things that we did was we were lost. You know, everyone came to the house and did what they needed to do, and then they left, and we didn't know what to do next. So one of the things that we try to do is to help families through that process, whether it's court support, whether it's hooking them up with spiritual support, whatever it is they may need, we try to make sure that we get it. One of the other things we also try to do is get Narcan out into the community. And I know a lot of people think about Narcan like a Band-Aid, but as someone with a nursing background, I prefer to think about it as a tourniquet. A lot of these deaths we're seeing are in the ages of 14 to 25. It's a first time, it's an accident, it's not what they're asking for, and we can make a change if we can keep them alive.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our goal. And so we are working very hard to make sure that we get Narcan out to the community, to those that can't afford it, don't know how to access it, or afraid to ask for it. We provide that. All anybody has to do is reach out to us via email, phone call, text, you name it, and we've got it, it's out there. The other thing that we're doing is in September, on the 28th, September is National Recovery Awareness Month. We are putting on, in conjunction with the YMCA of Sand Hills, the first annual North Carolina Family Awareness Festival. We will have all sorts of vendors from Alliance to the Task Force, Campbell University, NA, canine trainers, you name it, out there to Recovery Alive, to let the community know what is available and how to access it. Because we hear all the time, well, we don't have a rehab, or we don't have this, but we do have access to get you there. And they need to know that. We also have entertainment and food trucks. We want to make this a family event to kind of break some of that stigma and the idea that we can't talk about it. We need to talk about it. If we had known and we had talked about it more with my all-American sports playing, homeschooled, hardworking, lived-at-home kid, we wouldn't be where we are today. So that's our goal. And like Susan said, we just wanted to introduce ourselves to the community, let you know we're here. We're not out to hurt, we're just out to help. We want to save lives. So I thank you for your time.
perfect time. Thank both of you guys for coming tonight and sharing that with us. I honestly cannot imagine the loss you guys have suffered. So thank you for sharing that with us. Okay. Thank you, guys. All right, I don't have anyone else signed up for public comment. So we will move to consent agenda with just approval of our minutes. We've all had a chance. All right, come on up here. Give us your name and address, and I'll write it on this sheet, and we'll pretend that you signed it.
Bobby Green, 133 South Cross Street, Angelo, North Carolina.
All right.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, just want to get very quickly to say thank y'all for coming out, helping out in the community. I know it wasn't the turnout that we wanted, but the people that was there was the one that needed to be there. The donations that y'all gave was awesome. We raised right over 500 and some change, so greatly appreciate it. October the 12th, talked to Mr. Derrick about having a park. Will be our second annual breast cancer awareness walk. So if y'all could, or if y'all know anyone, excuse me, that is willing to come out, participate. If you know anyone that been through, that's been through breast cancer or going through, or just want to celebrate with us, feel free to come out. I mean, we're going to have a guest speaker, a couple nurses out, some survivors, and some other family survivors out there celebrating and walking and just trying to spread the word. And I want to commend these ladies right here. Is it Miss Susan? Is it one of their names?
Sue and Teresa.
Awesome what y'all doing. I live in the neighborhood down here, so hopefully I can get a card from y'all, and we can get together and with somebody from the panel and spread that awareness, or set up a date or something. We can do something later on. And stuff. But once again, thank y'all for coming. I know time is precious and priceless.
Yeah.
So the support and the care that y'all share means a lot. Thank you, Ms. LaRue and the crew, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
And tell y'all kids I say hello too.
I'll tell them.
All right, thank you.
So for the record, Mr. Green organized a cleanup in a part of town here. It was last weekend or the weekend before. And Keep Heart Beautiful provided the town for efforts such as this, grabbers, trash bags. NCDOT collected all of it. I know the turnout was not what you expected, but I think we still had a strong turnout. We still knocked it out in about an hour, I think. So, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot to get something done. So thank you for organizing that. All right. Now we'll go to the minutes. All right, we've all had a chance to review the minutes. Does anyone have any discussion about the minutes? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve them. Yeah,
I'll make the motion and we'll go ahead and approve the consent agenda as written.
all right. No discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Tonight we have 2 public hearings, I think, right? They're both yours, Jeff. Jeff, if you'll give us the title of your first one, and I will open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. Tonight we have a rezoning request from Silverstone Investment, and you can open the public hearing. If you
All right, I hereby open the public hearing.
We have a request from Silverstone Investment to rezone 2 properties at the corner of East Lillington Street and South Dunn Street. The properties are currently zoned, we'll get to the zoning map here. They're zoned, R6, and they are proposed to go to community or downtown business or central business. This is central business here. This is the downtown area. These are the 2 parcels here that is up for rezoning. Recently, there was a building here that was rehabbed into a new space, and that was the same owner. So there's the building here. This is the empty lot beside it. Again, they want to rezone that parcel there. The future land use map has this area as designated for downtown community or central business. So this aligns with our future land use plan. And the applicant is just asking to rezone to central business.
All right, any questions for Jeff?
Staff is recommending approval, and planning board recommended approval at their July meeting.
Great. So this is kind of weird. This is not a quasi judicial hearing, and I'm not
That's
100% used to that, which means that if anyone in attendance tonight would like to speak on this, we could actually listen to you and consider it.
Right.
No? All right. With that, I'm going to close the public hearing. Any discussion amongst the board? Yeah. So my perspective is that this is an area that we want to become central business. It directly abuts it. It is a further extension of that. I don't see a lot of downsides. Not that we're considering the applicant, but he's done great work on his other properties. In fact, and nothing short of that from him on these. But either way, I think this is what we want this zoning to be. So, no other discussion. Then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve the rezoning request for community business.
All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Jeff, you have the next one.
Yeah.
Scroll here.
So recently, the town, thank you, Mayor, and the board. Recently, you all as a board asked staff to take a look at a food truck ordinance or a mobile food vendor ordinance that you all, or this board passed in early 2023. It's been a little over a year, so it's a good time to go back and take a look at some of the ordinances, and in particular, did we miss anything when we wrote that ordinance a year ago?
Let me open the public hearing.
Go ahead.
All right, that's it. I only get to bang this a couple of times here, so don't.
By all means.
Let me have it. Okay.
Right. So one of the things that we knew that was sort of a loophole was an ability for a food vendor to set up shop essentially on a piece of property for 6 months and then be able to renew their permit in perpetuity for every 6 months. That was not the intent of the ordinance when passed. The ordinance intent back in 2013 or 2023 was to permit food trucks to be able to operate in Anger and be able to come into Anger, have their business, be located at other places in town, and then be able to leave and go somewhere else. So the amendment that we've crafted for you all tonight makes some tweaks, closes that loophole. It states that a food truck can come into Anger twice a week, Sunday through Saturday. They can get a permit for 6 months. Really what we want to do is permit the food truck vendor themselves, not necessarily the event, but a food truck, please come into town, get a permit, and then you can operate up to twice a week anywhere in town that meets the other regulations of the ordinance. Additionally, we wanted to have the ability for private events and residential events to be exempt from the food truck ordinance, because that, again, the ordinance was written to permit the food truck, not the event. So this new ordinance adds some exemptions to allow for private events and events associated with residential neighborhoods. Yeah. So not a whole lot of changes, but enough changes that tweaks what we had to sort of close some loopholes.
The other notable tweak I noticed was outdoor seating. This is a new line, right?
It is a new line. Again, we want those food trucks to come into town, be a part of a current business or a residential or a private event, but not to set up permanent seating. So even though they may come back to that space every week on Tuesdays and Fridays, we do not want them to set up permanent seating. We want that operation to be temporary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Jeff, it seems like your job is perpetually looking at the intent of an ordinance and how it needs to be tweaked to meet that. So I certainly appreciate the efforts. Because I know we bring you all these little problems, and you're like, all right, I'll fix it. But
that's what I'm here for.
I appreciate your efforts on this one. Does anyone up here have any questions for Jeff while we have him up here? All right. Anyone in the audience tonight wish to speak on this one?
One quick question.
Well, you have to speak in the microphone, Alan. You know the rules.
Do I need one?
Yes.
Just a quick question, and the way I understand this and I see what it is meant to do, I can't leave my food truck there and only open it 2 days in a week, is what I'm assuming that means. So it cannot permanently sit there while I only open 2 days a week. Thank
So
you.
Jeff, does the verbiage
Yes, that's
in
right.
this account for
That's
that?
right.
Okay.
That's right. We
Because
want-
again, that's an intent
we want
thing.
you to
I'm
come
making sure the
in.
word.
And leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keyword mobile.
Yeah.
And take your trash with you, right?
That's right.
Jeff, I have a question. That won't affect anything with Crepe Myrtle when I have food trucks. right?
No, ma'am. No.
No, there's still several exceptions in here.
And we outlined that can be, that exception can be made with the special event permit that is submitted, so.
Right. That's right.
If you want to talk, you got to speak into the mic, or the internet world can't hear you. All right.
So, quick question. So the event that I would have on the 18th, I want to have like a food truck, 1 or 2 there. Would they need a permit?
So we have written the ordinance that a food truck person themselves can get a permit, or an event can get a permit for a potential food truck. So yes, sir, you could get a permit for that event if you know that you're going to have a food truck there.
Yeah. And off the top of your head, Jeff, do you know what the fee is for that permit? I don't know if that's you or
I don't know
fee
if we have
schedule.
a fee for a food. I can't. I'd have to look at it.
All right, that's not your department.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
We may have one. I don't know right off the top of my head.
All right, anyone else in the audience tonight? I'm going to close the public hearing then. Thank you, Jeff, for that information. Any discussion amongst the board? I know that this one has been brought to me a couple of times from Johnson's Landing, that used to have a neighborhood food truck event and kind of got lost in the wording of the old one, so this new one will address that.
Correct.
I think it's very well repaired. Thank you, Jeff. Anyone else? Then I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I make a motion, we approve the amendments to the mobile food truck ordinance.
There's no discussion, and all those in favor, raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Thank you, Jeff.
Board.
New business. Veronica, you've got one so far. All right.
Yeah, I got 3 tonight. but
Do
this is
you?
the first one.
They're not even in order. All right, you'll be up and down a lot then.
Yeah, that's okay.
Go ahead, please. Introduce us to number 1.
Okay. As everyone knows, the town's finance director has resigned. Due to current staffing needs, the board is asked to consider the following proposal. The board appoints the town manager to serve as finance director and hire one of the following CPA firms to handle bookkeeping: Chris Abbott CPA or Beverly Stroud CPA. This proposal has been reviewed by the town's attorney and the LGC. This proposal is to be in place until the town can hire a new finance director. Although the statute doesn't require this, staff recommends approval by the board.
All right, so on this item, we're being asked to approve both.
No,
They're
just-
separated, so first
Well-
would be
Yes.
finance director,
We need to approve the title.
transition of
Yes.
Elizabeth.
For
and then
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth will talk to you about the CPA
CPA.
firms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Elizabeth, do you mind talking to us about the CPA firm? Yeah, it's
So
kinda
throughout
lumped
the
into one.
state, there is a shortage of finance directors, and the town that I previously worked in, I was named the finance director, and we contracted with our local COG, who basically did everything, and I had the oversight of the finances, but I didn't do the day-to-day reporting and the day-to-day journal entries and those type of things. So what we're asking is for you to approve me as the finance director, and then to allow me to contract with one of the CPA firms that is listed on your next agenda item.
Okay, I see that now.
Yes. So Chris Abbott who has previously done the town's audit. He's very familiar with the town. He is in Fuquay. He currently is assisting a town who is in a similar situation as Anger, and he can be on site 2 days a week to train staff. Beverly Stroud was recommended by our former interim manager. However, she could not be on site to assist us. She would only be able to work remotely. And so I think there's a pretty significant cost differential, but I would ask the board to consider contracting with Mr. Abbott so that he can be on site with us.
All right, let's circle back to new business number one, because I made a mess of that one, which is appointing the town manager as finance director. Is there any discussion amongst the board? Or questions for that one? If not, then I'll entertain a motion for that one.
I make a motion that we appoint the town manager as interim finance director until permanent finance director is hired.
All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Unanimous? All right, now we can talk about the CPAs. You already kind of talked to them about a sum. Do you have anything to add to that right now?
The only thing that I'll add, which is in the action form, is that we have several new staff members, and we're working to cross-train them while still keeping internal controls in place, which is an additional reason for having someone on site.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Elizabeth about item 2, bookkeeping service? Or any discussion about which one over the other? Especially if we're trying to cross-train people. All right, anyone else? Input on that one? Not, then I'll entertain a proposal. A motion.
I make a motion, we move forward with a contract with Gregory Abbott, CPA, for,
Does it say Gregory?
it does.
Mine says Chris.
The agenda says Gregory. Mr. Abbott,
Mr. Abbott, there we go.
CPA.
That works.
For bookkeeping and financial services for the town manager.
All right, any discussion about that motion? Then all those in favor, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous. It's been a long day for a lot of us, so we're doing the best we can, I swear. All right, Elizabeth, you have number 3. That one I'm going to table for right now. Pretty sure that I have the authority to go ahead and table that one. Let's move to number 4. Dan, you're going to talk to us about that one. This is an amendment to the town manager's contract.
Yes, and you've got it before you. There's one minor change. There was a 1.5 COLA increase in January that needs to be addressed. And the only change will be in the whereas sections. And in this third whereas, it'll say, whereas the Board of Commissioners previously provided that's very loud. Previously provided a 1.5 cost of living adjustment in January and has now agreed to an additional 3% cost of living merit increase and a 3% cost of living increase. The rest of it will read exactly the same. So it's only an amendment to the whereas section.
Okay. Any questions for Dan? Thank you. All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve this one as amended.
I'll go ahead and make the motion that we approve the agreement as amended.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Number 5, capital project budget ordinance number 1. Elizabeth.
Back in December, the board authorized town staff to contract with Withers Ravenel to apply for a grant and loan program through DWI, Division of Water Infrastructure. The EPA mandated that all water systems find and replace any lead pipes or lead components and also galvanized components. So since we had to do it anyway, I felt like applying for this funding made sense. What we have before you is the, we have Resolution 13-2024, which is the board accepting the $1.9 million that we received. And then the project ordinance, budget amendment number 1, we budgeted for this in our budget. However, we do have to pay loan closing fee of $39,976. So otherwise, this is either, the 1.9 is a 0% interest loan, and then the 799 is like a grant. So we need in your motion to say the resolution and the capital budget ordinance.
All right. Any questions or discussion? If not, then I'll entertain a motion.
Is that the money that was given to us from the state, part of it? Or is
That's
that?
not, no, it's not ARPA money. It's coming through the Infrastructure Act, I believe.
Okay, I
Yes,
remember.
so it's a different source of funding. Yes, it is the bipartisan infrastructure law of 2021, so not ARPA.
I make a motion to approve Resolution R13, 2024, and capital budget ordinance for the lead service line find and replacement project.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Number 6, Veronica again.
Okay. The town's personnel policy allows employees to donate sick leave to an employee who is facing unpaid leave. The town experienced a situation where an employee was granted sick leave and did not return to work. We are asking the board to consider reinstating the leave that was donated and used to pay this employee during the absence. The cost to the town for this individual's salary is $13,858. By returning the leave that was donated to compensate this employee, the town will be paying the salary amount. This position is vacant and no budget amendment is necessary at this time.
Okay. So for everyone who's not in the circle of what's been going on here, we did lose our finance director. She took a leave and she did not have enough of her own time for leave. Staff donated leave to her, donated some of their hours to her to be able to use, which is pretty common practice for staff members that need that. The problem is that she used those hours and then she left us. So she used other staff's hours and did not return back to work. And it was kind of the board's consensus that that was not fair to the staff that donated those hours. And so we asked staff to help us figure out how we could return those hours back to staff. And so that's what this is. We're returning those donated hours back because we don't believe they should be punished for that. The money that we're using for this, how are we taking that out of the budget? Is that out of?
So it would be from the salary line item. So basically, it would be, it's essentially that you paid someone that wasn't here working is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But we have money for that because we are no longer paying the finance director.
That's correct. There's funds in the lap salary.
Okay.
Now, is she going to be are we going to go and get reimbursed from her on that in any way?
I don't think there's an avenue for that. But we have talked about addressing personnel policy for someone's longevity with the town and how many hours they might be able to accept, things like that. So this is an immediate correction for a problem, but we have plans going forward to prevent something like this from happening again. Any other discussion? Questions?
Incredibly grateful for generous staff that we have that looks after their own. Super thankful for them for that. With that, I'm going to make a motion to have the Human Resources Director transfer leave time that was donated back to the employee making the donation.
Thank you.
All right, there's no further discussion. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Thank you, Veronica. And I think you have the next one here too. Community Development Board application. All right.
We have another application that was submitted for the Community Development Advisory Board. There's still 2 vacancies available, but Jessica had applied, and she's here if you guys would like to speak with her.
Okay. Jessica, I'm going to try this. Jessica Schneckploth? Was it? All right, nobody ever says my name right. So I always make a point of trying. I don't always get it right, but.
Don't feel bad.
All right, well, thank you very much for applying for this one. This is, all the boards are important, but this is a very important board too. We've all got your application. It's part of the agenda that's available to the public too. But if you don't mind, just give us kind of a quick tell us about yourself and why you think you'd be a good fit for this board.
Well, thank you very much for having me. My name is Jessica Schneckloth. For the record, I'm at 202 Burford Way. So my husband and I just moved here 2 weeks ago. We're from the area, but we've always been part of Main Street communities. We come from Maine originally, so always had the opportunity to be in close-knit communities and just enjoy that lifestyle and that community. And that's one of the things that really brought us to Anger. We were in Raleigh, just getting, as you know, a little bit busier and didn't have that same kind of hometown feel. And so when we discovered Anger, we're like, this is it, this is great. And we really wanted to be a part of it. We really see kind of what's happening here and what we've seen happen in Cary and Apex as some of those older buildings have been kind of left behind for the new and the better. And then they come back and kind of revitalize. And so we see what the potential is. And instead of just kind of sitting back and watch it happen, I really wanted to be a part of how that happened and see that it's done well. My background, I have been in the credit union space for about 20 years. I worked in collections, finance, most recently was the VP of operations and member services for credit union Maine. Still in the credit union space, but now on tech side in marketing. So I've done marketing from the business to consumer, business to business. I have a good handle on event planning, which is the big part of my job now, and just see that there's a lot of value in finding ways to get people together with services that are out there, whether that's businesses or just the services that the community offers. And that was a big part of my job in the credit union space. And so I just think some of those experiences that I have would really complement Anger. I'm just excited to be part of the community I'm living in.
Well, I'm really happy you applied for this.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask you 2 questions. Do you know when the meetings are?
I do not recall now, but I did look at the time I applied, and
Okay.
I looked ahead on my calendar.
Okay.
No problem.
That's the next question.
Okay.
Are you going to come?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I have to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fair.
Does anyone else have any questions for her? I mean, you very impressive application. Your backgrounds and your experience all seem to align with exactly what this board is doing right now. So,
Thank you.
You'll be a welcome addition for them.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
no other questions, then I'll entertain a motion as you are the only applicant tonight, which is fine.
I make a motion we approve Jessica to the Community Development Advisory Board.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. It's approved. I didn't mean to make you stand there while we did
No,
that,
that's okay.
but I had a
No.
good feeling. I had a good feeling about it, so. All right, let's see. Let me find my place here again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm running the computer copy. Number 8, Gene. Gene, you're here, aren't you? There he is. Bike Fest Request 2025.
Well, I actually, in part of that, I want to come and thank the town. We had a great year this year, and I thank the police department. Mr. Johnson's now in charge of the public works part, but Jimmy helps out as well. He's been doing it for a long time with us. So I wanted to take the opportunity to thank everybody. I saw some faces out there, and I appreciate you guys coming out. This year, I'm proud to announce that we raised $25,000 and sent the check right to pediatric brain tumor for this year's function. At the same time, we are going to give another $3,000 to another charity event that'll come in December to help out with the veterans side of it as well. So that's close to almost $30,000 worth of raised money for this year based on what we've done in the town with bringing people in. At the same time, we added the ride this year. When we added the ride, we didn't know what to expect, so we kind of were a little bit quieter on it to kind of slowly get into it before it becomes bigger. And we ended up with almost 100 bikes this year on the ride, which we actually had Sheriff's Department do the directing of that and helped us out in getting people around with some of the other groups helping out with the, as they call it, road dogging. Some very good clubs that help us every year. So all in all, it was very successful for us, and we appreciate the town for it. It means a lot to us, especially with cancer. It means a lot to take care of a lot of these younger kids. And I know how it is for the adults that are going, I think someone said they're going to do something for breast cancer, I think. Is that right? And it means a lot. So, especially closer to my family, since I have a brother now going through cancer treatments, and he'll be doing it for 12 months of cancer treatment. So, and that's just taking the pill. So just imagine those little kids sitting there and going at 5 years going through these treatments. So that's why we do this. So I am asking now so we can start planning, because it takes almost a year to plan this thing out, to be able to get to do the same thing we did this year for next year. And it's always around the first weekend of June. I know that we've been trying to get through some kinks. We got a lot of new people. But it really means a lot to these kids, and it also means a lot to the community with what goes on that day. And we had a real big turnout. So again, I am asking if we can do it again for next year, so I can start planning now to put this on, because it just doesn't happen overnight. It takes about a year of planning, and all of us do it. We don't get paid for it. So we're trying to work that out. So that's what I'm asking for tonight, if I can. And again, thank you.
All right, Gene. I want to be the first one to say it. We don't, I don't have here, at least in my packet, the dates and the closures and stuff like that I think we would like to see.
It's the first week of June.
Okay.
So, and that's what we've always done in the past to come and do it. So the first weekend of June, hold on. It's so it'll be the first weekend, whatever. It's a Sunday. It might be the. It would be, yeah, it's a tricky one to do. So I would say we're probably the first weekend is actually whatever the first is. So usually it's is that Sunday. So we'd probably go the 29th, 30th, 31. Mm-hmm. Technically May, June. Yeah, it's it's a weird structure for next year. Is that Memorial Weekend for the June 1st? It's usually the week before.
You sure? Memorial Day's 26th. That's the weekend before.
Yeah, it's always the weekend before.
So you're looking at
It'd be
Memorial Day is the 26th on a Monday.
Yeah.
So you're looking at 29,
following
30,
week.
31.
Mm-hmm. Is it 31 or is it the first on?
31 is the Saturday. 29's Thursday.
And the first is, yep.
Yeah. So Thursday through Saturday. 29, 30, 31.
'Cause
And Sunday
we
too.
do the ride on Sunday again, yeah.
Okay.
And this will more than likely turn into the triangle ride as well, meaning you'd be promoting other people to come to Anger and bringing more people to town for that. No, we only street closures are on Saturday and Sunday. That's the only time we've ever done street closure. Mm-hmm.
Are you asking us to approve the street closures too right now?
What?
Are you asking us to also approve the street closures right now?
I mean, if we can, but I can come back if we got to do that. That's no problem. I mean, we usually do it from on Saturday all day, and then Sunday. What we did this time is when we came back and we parked everybody on each side of the road. At the end, we opened it up right away. So
Right.
we didn't fully close the whole day.
Right.
So we're pretty flexible with that. We just want to make sure it's safe for everybody parking and ready to go out. And when they come back, they're able to park, and then we open it up if we can park people along the edge of the road. So we're pretty a lot of these biker groups are very good with knowing where they can park and where they can't.
We ask every event that comes the same thing, right? So definitely want this event to happen, and we understand that you're planning for Thursday to Sunday, and that's a good thing to have. I know you work with Chrissy directly as well with planning this, so I think with the two of you can maybe come back with a more sure street closure plan. I just would feel more comfortable with that in terms of because we ask everybody the same, we know this is a long-standing event. I was one of those children with cancer.
Yeah.
The community rallied around me when I was 11 and did one of the first car shows here in town to support my family. So it means a lot to me, but I want there to be consistency as well.
That's fine if we got to do the closure a different day. But
Just
I
because
wanna get
we
approval.
do a formal vote for the street closures, and so I definitely think the event,
That's fine. We can push it. I think it used to be back when we first did it there used to be the town had that. We used us as the street closure system. And so you used us as the guinea pig, as you want to say, and used our maps for where we did the closing and everything. So I have no problem with that if we got to come back just for the closures for that. I mean,
I think that you've got the support of this board.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that. What I would prefer, which make my life easy, and I love for my life is if you can work with Chrissy or whoever and get us one piece of paper that says these dates, these road closures, give us something we could say, I make a motion to approve that. And
can
I
we
think you'll be
at
good.
least get a motion to say that we're good to go for that, meaning that we can have the event?
we
And
can
be
make a
there
motion.
and
Does
just
he need
do the
approval to
closures?
have the event? Elizabeth, does he need approval to have the event?
Yeah, I think that would come with the event permit, and I think, things have been done a certain way, and like you said, we have new staff, and so there are some new fees, and I think it might be good if everyone has to fill out the application and pay the fees before they come before the board.
And does the board need to approve applications for events? Or is that just a formality that goes through town staff?
It's not, you wouldn't do it for you're not going to approve every single person
Right.
that rents the depot, for instance.
Right,
For
that's what I mean.
a
I
small
don't know
party.
that your event needs to be approved by the board.
In a way, I kind of want to have that so that I know I can go out and say, we are definitely having this.
Yeah.
The road closures are coming up.
Yeah.
And I know we've got to do that now to get those approved. I have no problem. I also do stuff at night, so I teach kids at night Taekwondo. So
Sure.
I'm trying to and do that. I do about 4 nights a week doing that. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make the time frame with it. The earlier I know I'm set,
Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for.
I think, you know me, I like doing things the
Yep.
right way. I'm not sure in this case tonight that we could give you a formal action, but we could give you,
Temporary.
a blessing, I think, yes, we want to have it, but I
Can
don't
we do
know
it
if
temporary
it's,
based on road closures?
I don't know if it's a motionable thing.
I don't think it's ready for a motion by the board because I think it needs to go through the application process. But the board can informally say, we support this idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think you have our support for sure.
Okay.
And you can take that, the application is, and once you fill that out, it's done. It won't come before us until we get to road closure.
Well, I just want to put the application, I might put the road closures in now because as long as I get that early,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that headache.
At the
coming
last
up
minute.
At the last
Yeah.
minute. I'm trying to get done ahead of the game.
I don't think you'll have to. If you could get us some maps of road closures, we could probably hear the road closures at the workshop later this month.
Okay. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to, that's all I care is I want to make sure I have it so I
Yeah.
can say, hey, we're doing it next year and we're on that.
Yep.
So if you want to be on the next agenda, then you have a week from today to get everything in. So otherwise you can
But if
bring
you
it.
grab-
I love that stress. Thank you. I'm good.
You're
I don't
welcome.
remember-
Welcome to my
Because
life.
it's a-
Welcome to the world of a town manager.
Because it's a standing event, a lot of, like you said, a lot of those things, those bones already exist, right?
Yep.
So it shouldn't be fairly difficult. I know, Chrissy's a great resource and she'll work with you as best she can to, to
Chrissy
make
knows
it
this by
happen.
now.
So unless there's any major changes, everything should be pretty straightforward in terms of,
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
I just don't know if I can give you anything more official than that
No problem.
tonight, but you have our unofficial, we're in support of it.
Okay.
Put on
That's what I
paper
make sure.
for us, and I'll sign it for you in my red folder, Gene.
All right, well, make sure you write it. Yeah, do that. So just do the form and then send it to you or Chrissy, and then you guys can work on it at the next meeting.
Yeah,
Okay.
do the application, give us a map if
Alright.
you can. You can do it in Microsoft Paintbrush, I don't
There's
care.
one generic one we've had used for.
Bring us
years,
that.
and we'll print that off again. All
Give
right.
us something
The one you did
actionable,
last time.
and I think you've got it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, guys.
All right, that is the last thing for our new business. Let us move to manager's report. Do you have anything you'd like to speak with us tonight about that, Elizabeth?
Well, I have some exciting news on a project that y'all have been working on since 2021. The Junie Road water tank construction timeline is before us. The notice to proceed will be issued on September 22nd of this year. They estimate that the foundation will be completed by fall. The steel will be delivered in March of 2025. Substantial completion of the tank in December of 2025. Demo of the Dora Street tank, December of 2025, and estimated final completion January 2026.
Great.
The booster pump station, which is another important component of that project, the notice to proceed will also be issued on September 22nd. That is a different contractor. We expect the construction schedule to be sent to us next week. It occurred to me that a lot of times when citizens come and they raise issues that the public never hears about them, y'all hear about them afterwards. And so I just thought I would provide an update on the River Glen subdivision and Miss Mabry. A swell will be constructed between Meritage Homes property, that's the River Glen subdivision, and the Marbury's residence. The design was reviewed and approved by DEQ, and they are the agency that regulates erosion and sedimentation plans. An additional concern was raised either 1 or 2 meetings ago by a citizen on West McIver Street. I had another meeting with a different property owner today about flooding there. Brandon Johnson has reached out to one of our on-call engineering firms to look at potential solutions for that area, and we're going to bring that proposal to you on the next meeting, August 20th. So I haven't mentioned the strategic plan for a little while. We adopted it. We got through the budget. We started a new fiscal year. And so now it's time to start working on those key performance indicators. So far, we've held 2 employee listening sessions, which have been really productive. The equipment that was part of the strategic plan and the budget process has been ordered. The planning department has started working on the comprehensive land use plan, and there's an update about that in Jeff's report. And we're going to be working on a progress dashboard that'll be presented to you at the September meeting.
Great.
Do y'all have any questions?
Did DOT also going to clean out the ditches along 55?
I was told that DOT went out there and did some maintenance along that ditch near the River Glen subdivision. Yes.
Thank you.
I noticed in the water tank timeline that the Caldwell has requested to work Monday through Sunday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, I know that's adjacent to residential neighborhoods, and so I want to be mindful of having like heavy construction work going on on Saturdays and Sundays, especially that early in the morning. Is there any way that maybe Saturday and Sunday can start perhaps at 10 instead of so early in the morning? I want to be mindful that it is adjacent to residential, so.
We can certainly ask them. That may slow down.
Just because that 7 a.m. construction work on a Saturday morning, I'd be upset about it. So, you know, I want to just be a little bit aware.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. All right. I always skip this, but I'm not going to skip it tonight because I am positive that some of the staff is going to come up here and share some of their reports. Derek, you were volunteering? No. No? All right. Well, they all give us their report. It's like pulling teeth to get up and talk to us about it. But thank you for compiling those, and thank you for all the hard work you've done. I'll do my report. I only got 2 things to mention. If you're paying attention tonight, you probably already know, but as of 5 p.m., we are in a state of emergency in town of Andrew. As of right now, it's really just more of a formality to make sure that we can access any resources we need if we need them. Shouldn't really affect anyone's lives really at this stage. There are options to modify it some, and I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if we need to, but I'm not trying to do any more governing than I need to, except for the safety. Also, because of the weather, National Night Out, which was supposed to be this Thursday, has been moved to August 15th, and we're awaiting some more details on that one before we release them, but it has been changed from the 8th. Any of you guys have anything you want to share tonight? I did have one more thing I wanted to say. We did a proclamation for Commissioner Carney. And in that proclamation, I said that he was the first African-American commissioner. And I have since learned that that is not the case, and there were 2 more before him. So while I do not want to take anything away from Commissioner Carney, it's also fair to say that there were 2 others before him. Did not write their names down to prepare. Do you remember? It was Edgar Lee and Inez. Yeah. Did serve before him. So I did not want to take anything away from them and the significance of their serving the town. So anyone else tonight have anything to share? All right then. I'll entertain a motion to enter closed session.
I make a motion we go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3 to discuss, to consult with our attorney, A4 for personnel, and A6 for potential economic development opportunities.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. And we are adjourned in open session.